Hi everybody! So we have actually finished our chapter on area and perimeter, and I know we've moved through it kind of fast, but that's okay. We're going to spend a couple days reviewing, you'll take your test, and then next week is going to be all review. So today what we're going to do is just kind of hit on all of the skills that we've talked about. How to find area, how to find perimeter, composite shapes, how to find missing side lengths. So we're going to kind of just review all of that. So let's start by taking a look at this shape. You can see that it's been tiled, we've got squares, and we're gonna figure out the area. So anytime that I have a shape like this that's tiled and it's shaded, as long as they're not overlapping, you just count the squares. When I'm counting the squares, I like to put a dot in each one so that I know if I've already counted it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58. Whew, took me a minute there. So it's 58 square units, and we got that by counting each shaded square. So tell me this, why couldn't I use the area formula of length times width? Right, because it's not an actual rectangle. Length times width only works if it's like an array. You have equal rows and equal columns. You can see we do not have that. We have ones of all different sizes. So whenever we have something like that, we have to count instead of being able to use our formula. Okay? Let's look at another shape just like that, but this one has half squares. Do you remember what we do when we have half squares? So we know that 2 halves will equal a whole, right? So I'm going to find sets of 2. Okay, so there's a set of 2, so that means I'll add 1 to my total. Here's a set of 2, so I'll add 1 to my total. And then here and here is a set of 2. So that means when I'm done counting all of my whole squares, I need to add 3 to that total to account for all of my half squares. Okay, so each 2 halves will equal 1 whole. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So the area of that shape is 24 square units. Okay, so remember when you're looking at halves, you need to match up sets of 2 to add 1. And if you have an odd half left over, then you would write it as like 23 and a half. Okay? Good. So now let's look at some perimeter. Okay? Now we have a rectangle, first of all, and they've given me some measurement. Okay? My long side is 7, my short side is 5. Remember, I know I've said this a whole bunch of times, but it's really, really important, okay? When they only give you 2 numbers, you have to remember for perimeter not to forget to add your other 2 sides, okay? So 7 plus 7 is 14, 5 plus 5 is 10, 14 plus 10 equals 24. So that means the perimeter of this rectangle is 24. They didn't give me a unit, so I don't know if it's inches or centimeters, but 24 is good. Okay, so that's really important to remember. If they only give you 2 sides, you can't just add 7 and 5 and be done. You have to add all 4 sides, or however many sides there are. Okay, now we have a perimeter that's tiled. Okay, so when we have a tiled perimeter, we look at the outside edges and count how many there are. Okay, so 1, 2. And remember, that means we might count the same square 2 times, because look, we're going to count this square here and here. So even though it's the same square, it has 2 sides touching the outside. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So the perimeter of that is 20 units, okay? Remember, it's however many sides are on the outside of the figure. Okay, so two ways. You can add your sides or count them if it's tiled. Oh, okay, now we've got a composite figure. Okay, so remember, when we talk about composite figures, it's important to kind of like cut it into the two rectangles. So you can draw a line, okay, to make it into two different rectangles. Then we're gonna figure out the area of each one. So this is a length of 3 and a width of 5. What's 3 times 5? 15. What's 5 times 6? 30. Okay, so the the area of this rectangle is 15. The area of this one is 30. To figure out the area of the whole shape, I add those two numbers. So the area of that composite shape of this whole thing is 45, okay? All right, let's look at another one. Let's talk about finding the missing side length, okay? Okay, so we're talking about area, which means I'm thinking about multiplication, okay? So the area of this rectangle is 6 square units, okay? That's what the U means unit and that little 2 means square, okay? So I know that to get my area, I multiply my length and my width. My width is 3, so 3 times what would give me 6? Yeah, 2. So my missing side length is 2. Okay? All right, now let's try it with perimeter. So area is multiplication, perimeter is addition. Okay? So I know that I need to add up all of my sides. So let's figure out what we do know. 8 plus 8 is 16. Okay? So I know the whole perimeter is 28. My two long sides are 16. Okay? So if I subtract those, that would give me 12, okay? So that means this side and this side have to add up to 12. So what's 12 divided by 2? Right, it's 6. Okay, so that means this side is 6 and this side is 6. So now let's do a little bit of math. What's 8 plus 6? 14. 8 plus 6 is 14. 4 and 4 is 8, 1 and 1 is 2. Okay? If I add all of those numbers up, does it give me a perimeter of 28? Yep, it sure does. Good. Okay, so I just want to review one more thing with you. Let's say that I have a rectangle. Okay, there's my side lengths. My length is 5 and my width is 3, okay? So can you tell me the perimeter and the area for this shape? Take a second, you can pause the video, try to figure out the perimeter and the area for this shape. Once you have it figured out, pause the video and then come back. Okay, did you figure it out? So first of all, to figure out the perimeter, I need to add all 4 sides. So I need to remember 5 and 3, okay? So 5 plus 5 is 10. 3 plus 3 is 6. 10 plus 6 is 16. So that means the perimeter of this shape is 16 inches. There we go, I added inches. Okay, what about the area? So you could tile or you could multiply. Let's say you're not really sure about 3 times 5. So you're gonna tile just so you're sure. So if I want 5 columns, I'm gonna draw 4 lines. And if I want 3 rows, I'll draw 2 lines. Remember, always one less. Okay, and now I can count them, 5, 10, 15. Or if you knew 3 times 5, then you would know it's 15, okay? So sometimes they'll just give you a rectangle and then you have to figure out the perimeter and the area. And as long as you know your 2 side lengths, you'll be able to figure it out. Okay, you're gonna now go down below and practice some of these skills that we talked about today, all of our review things, and then you'll be able to check it afterwards.